Just woke up and grabbed my phone to check the news, see what's going on. And first post on Facebook was a long story about Chris Cornell that a friend of mine had told. And so immediately hopped over to mainstream news. And needless to say, I hate waking up to kind of shit like this. It's been bad enough last week and a half with worrying that we're going to be going to war every morning because our president's pissed off about something stupid or just unhinged. And then to see something like this is it's a real drag. Guy was 52. They don't really know. I guess they're saying possible suicide. Doesn't really matter at this point. Just a serious bummer. Soundgarden was the first band that I really loved out of Seattle. Now I grew up in Washington State, and they were kind of hitting. All those bands were hitting just around the point I was in middle school. So it was kind of point you start really developing your own musical taste, and that was a band that really spoke to me. Still to this day, one of my all-time faves. Yeah, it's just such a unique talent. I never got to see them live. They broke up. Was it '97? I was just heading out to school and they broke up. And when they reformed, super excited. Finally a chance to see one of my favorite bands. They were like one of two bands that I always wish would get back together. It was them and the Police. Also, I didn't see the Police reunion tour either, which is a drag. But so I always want to see them live, and scheduling just never permitted. They were actually headlining to the festivals that Leopard headlined this last run, like the last two festival days we did. Carolina Rebellion, I can't remember the other one was, but they were on the opposite night. So we would play like Friday, they were playing Saturday, and then the place we played Saturday, they were playing Friday. So we were literally, the buses were literally ships passing the night kind of thing. And I remember like seeing that on the schedule, like originally like, oh cool, I'm gonna go see Soundgarden, thinking maybe it would be the day off, but head down there early and check the band out because they are one of my all-time faves, and just didn't work out. I was kind of bummed. But what a shit way to wake up. I feel so bad for his band and crew and family. To be on the. It's one of those things that I guess kind of always in the back of your mind when you're a crew guy that our lives are revolve around a very small group of people, and I'm sure that you weighs a lot of musicians too. You've got, when you're out there, you're responsible for 100 some odd families. I know that in the past, I've talked to Joe about that, and it's one of the reasons that Joe lost his voice last year. We did the first show of that tour, and it was not good. I mean, he was it was really struggling, and we were all expecting to go home before that. Sound check, we're like, oh, we're taking some time off, and the reason he did the show period was just the responsibility that that band and Joe felt to the crew. Like he's got, hey, about all these the three bands out here with families. These people are depending on us to go and do our show for them to live their lives and get paid to afford to live their lives, and that's a heavy thing. I don't know what Cornell's deal was, if it was suicide, if it was what spawned that, but I know that that's there's a lot it's a lot heavier position to be in than most people think. I think a lot of people just assume that's just the pressures of fame or one thing, but when you've got pressures of fame and basically you're running a pretty large company, and for his crew to wake up, after what I assume was a successful show yesterday, and they're probably early lobby call, head off next gig, and that's devastating. You've lost your job, you've lost your friend, your boss. It's not just his family, but it's the collective family, they all lost everything that day. Yesterday, I guess today or yesterday, um, and that's a. I feel for those guys. Um, I mean, I know he's got a wife and kid, and that's really heavy. His daughter's gonna grow up without him. I think she's 8. I think that's a heavy, heavy thing. And then just as a fan, man, I was so looking forward to hearing the new stuff. I know they're working on a new record. They're writing. Those songs will ever come out. Just a just tragedy. But today I'm going to rock out to some Soundgarden today. Little Temple of the Dog. Yeah. I'll see you guys later. Hey, rough day. After my first little clip, I went out to the locker and dropped off Holly's bike and got to see a few friends. Some guys who knew Cornell and got to chat a little bit. And then on the way back, it came out that they apparently think it was a suicide. So today has basically been a day of musical mourning and listening to Soundgarden crank to high heavens, watching concert films, everything I could get my hands on. As I kind of said earlier, like I feel just horrible for his family, his band, his crew. That's a very tragic loss, and finding out that it was most likely a suicide, I don't know if it makes it better or worse, but it's it's a painful thing. But I guess it does show you though that it doesn't matter who you are, what you think of somebody's life. Depression hits everybody. I was listening to KEXP earlier. For those of you who are outside the Seattle area, that is a local college radio station. I will wager say it's probably the best radio station in the world. It's at kexp.org. You can stream live stream their show, or you can also catch on iTunes Internet Radio. And they were they were around back in the kind of the beginning of the grunge days and played a lot of these bands, and they did a complete set. They actually got a set list last Soundgarden show. They basically played the record versions, all the songs today in order. A lot of them on vinyl, and it's pretty special thing. But they were kind of between some of the songs they were talking. The DJs were, I think the morning DJ stayed on basically the entire day. Didn't want to leave, and they were talking about the findings about the suicide, and one of the guys had mentioned, and I don't know how accurate this is, but probably true that basically one out of every 2 people has had suicidal thoughts at some point or another, and basically if you're in that spot, if you're feeling that, reach out, talk to somebody. It's there's if you don't feel like your friends or family are there for you, or you can talk to them, there's a suicide prevention hotline. It's we got down here 1-800-273-TALK. It's it's the final thing that that decision, and it devastates everybody around you. I'm still a little bit lost in that one. That was definitely, as I said earlier, that was, they're the first band to really hit it for me in Seattle. I love that band, and I'm so bummed I didn't get to see them live. Wow. I'm gonna call it good today. I'm pretty wiped out. Hopefully tomorrow will be a little more fun. Maybe back to crazy Trump news tomorrow or something. Saturday though, something that is kind of enjoyable. My buddy Evan, Backstage Beer Co. It's at Backstage Beer Co. on Instagram. is doing brew day at his house, so I'm gonna head over and hang out, and we're gonna brew some beer and get a bunch of cool video of brewing beer and all that fun stuff. So, got something to look forward to this week. Hopefully, just no more bad news. That's just what a gut punch. Well, take care of yourselves. Take care of people you love. Call your mom. I'll see you guys tomorrow.